As he does each week during the legislative session, eCapital News Director Sean Ashley joined me to discuss stories making news at the Capitol. Sean, what do you expect from the new Speaker of the House, Jeff Hickman?
Well, it's kind of a wait-and-see approach right now. Speaker Hickman was elected on Monday and then promptly fell ill with the flu and was out of the Capitol much of the week. He did make a couple of minor committee changes late in the week, replacing himself on the Appropriations and Subcommittee on Public Safety with Representative Ritz. But I do believe as we move into the next week or so, we will hear more from him. He has expressed an interest in tax cut issues, as well as several other priorities, and I think he'll make those more clear in the coming week.
Already there has been an interesting development in the Senate, which passed a bond issue for state capitol repairs.
That's exactly right, a $160 million bond issue to begin work on the state capitol. What is rather unusual about this move is that it took place the second week of the legislative session. Governor Mary Fallin called for a $120 million bond issue in her executive budget, and we've known in the past that there has been agreement between the governor's office and the Senate on the bond issue. Former Speaker Shannon opposed a bond issue, as do a number of Republicans in the House. With the change of leadership in the House, it'll be interesting to see how that's received. What is even more interesting, I think, is that the bond issue was approved the second week. That's a big budget item. And if they're already moving this quickly on items such as that, it makes one wonder how quickly they may move forward on the budget.
There's a new development regarding Common Core state standards.
That's right. This week, the House Administrative Rules Committee passed a piece of legislation which would eliminate Common Core standards from state statutes, and in doing so would start a 6-month pilot project allowing local school districts to implement their own standard academic standards. Those could be Common Core, they could be the Priority Academic Student Skills standards, or some other standards. And then at the end of that 6-year period, we would look and see how the districts did and then maybe re-implement state standards using whichever ones worked best.
A bill is moving that would place limitations on the development of wind energy.
That's right. It passed the Senate Energy Committee on Thursday. And what this does is establishes setbacks between occupied dwellings, for example, and wind turbines. It also allows local municipalities and counties to establish zoning requirements related to those structures. And it's sort of in response to some of the complaints that have been lodged when these are placed too close to homes or other facilities. At the same time, there are supporters of the industry, landowners who say that they have not harmed their homes, have not harmed their land, and don't want to see too stringent of regulations put in place.
What do you think will be the big topics next week?
I think one of the biggest topics will be tax cuts. The House Appropriations and Budget Committee is set to take up possibly 2 measures related to tax cuts. One, a 0.25% reduction in the top rate, which the governor advocated, or perhaps even a bigger cut that would take it down to 4% from 5.25% over a 4-year period. That will likely be a heated debate in that committee and then when it reaches the floor.
eCapital News Director Sean Ashley, thank you.
You're very welcome.